You're listening to 1069 Click FM, live in color.
Thanks to the wisdom of the crowd today, we are not taking in one of the games that actually matter, we're looking at one that doesn't. And I believe that was the point. Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Another Stupid Sports Show. I'm your host Jim B here on 1069 Click FM. Glad to have all one or two of you here today who were just so excited. So excited for the matchup between Jackson State and Southern University. When these two teams last met, Southern University lost 35-0. I think it is worth pointing out that Jackson State are 11-0 on the season, have a very overmatched passing attack that a lot of teams have had to deal with. By the way, because it's the game I care about, it's in overtime right now. TCU was unable to make it into the end zone, so the Hypnotoad may have its run of luck stopped right here in the Big 12 Championship. And also, I'm not saying that I made people angry last night by dunking on Dr. Pepper for taking advantage of the students' need to get rid of overpriced tuition by making them compete in stupid contests on national television. But when I went out to my front yard this morning and by my car, I found a crushed and empty 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper. It gave me a pause for thought. Just a moment. But it also reminded me why I'm very particular with the sponsors I choose for this show. For example, I think that I can safely say that Screw City Lager would never leave menacing messages like that in my front yard. So that's who we are officially sponsored by for this game today. Remember, you never forget your first taste of Screw City. Woo! Hope you're all doing well. Sticks, I'm glad to have you here. Hope you have recovered. And congratulations again on killing that tree last night. Now, forgive me for sounding like a noob when I ask this, but Bard Rogue usually seems like a pretty popular combination. I mean, the two classes often rely on, social deception and charisma to get what they want. Oh, we got zombies coming. Nice. That'll make for a fun session. And unfortunately, Kansas State can win with just a score. So their kicker is already lining up on the sideline right now. And it looks like the Hypnotoad is not going to be able to help TCU get this one out. It's a damn shame. And yes, I know the game I'm supposed to be focusing on right now is Jackson State versus Southern, and it's probably started by this point, but let's be honest, the odds are good that anybody who did vote for that game probably isn't watching the stream. They just want to be comfortable in the knowledge that I would be struggling throughout the entire thing, trying to basically make silk out of a sow's ear. And maybe even, if things are happy, be able to make some Deion Sanders jokes. As I did hear earlier this week that Deion Sanders is going to be going out to Colorado University to become the head coach there, and is already arranging to move a lot of his staff, his assistants, his multiple account books. I meant playbooks, no tax evasion, certainly not. All right, here it is, the most boring possible end we could have gotten to this game. Up the middle. Congratulations, Kansas State. You will be the most forgettable Big 12 champion that I have ever seen, whereas I will remember forever Max Duggan trying to put the Horned Frogs on his back and will them to victory. Wildcats, you are lame, you are boring, I officially do not care about you. Alright, I guess it is about time at this point that we go and see what is happening in the other games. Oh, we've got such a great selection to choose from. Also happening right now is Coastal Carolina versus Troy, Fresno State versus Boise State, and Southern versus Jackson State, which is officially the SWAC championship. And they're not even playing it right now because they're finishing out Virginia versus Florida State in college basketball. Hello, Sorgi. Oh, we are just waiting for the game that so many people seem devoted for, but yet not one of them is showing up here. So we hear. Oh, no, that's not going to be pure chaos because the longtime stalwarts of Ohio State and Alabama have a good chance of getting back into the college playoffs now. So, everything is fine. It's just what we expect. Go back to bed. The situation is under control. Here, have Nick Saban hoist another trophy. Here's 37 fucking channels of Nick Saban hoisting another championship trophy. Oh, they will, Sticks. Don't worry. They'll find a way. And they're pushing the kickoff to 4:10 now. Thank you so much for making me have to fill time. And now they're just debating about whether a basketball changed direction when it hit the rim, and whether it's out of bounds, or who has possession and beady blue blah 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 blah. Just for my own safety and sanity, hopefully get up ESPN Aspen College Football Scores. There we are. Alright, looks like Florida State's going to get this back with 18.6 seconds left in the second half. And they will get a quick 2 off the inbound pass. Only takes about a second and a half off the clock. Now comes another timeout. Excuse me. This thing has got me extremely irpy this afternoon. Whatever. Okay. Oh, what do you know? LSU versus Georgia. And of course, those are games that aren't showing up on my sports guide. So, today is a fun day, and probably probably making up for the fact that we had such a good time last night with the nonsense that last night was Utah and USC. Holy crap. All right. Take care, Sorgi. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Well, ideally, anybody should get in over Alabama, but, well, I will just leave it at this. When people say roll tide, we all know what it means. Oh my god, still on this other timeout while they're pushing, and now they've thrown Southern and Jackson State over to ESPN News and the ESPN app. All right, fuck this noise, man. I'm going over to LSU, Georgia. And of course, they're on a Dr. Pepper commercial. Ugh, great. This is the way that the stream should start. Abso-frickin-lutely. I will, however, because it's almost always more fun to watch, start keeping track of interesting college basketball games. Especially since March can be a bit of a dry month, and that ever-expanding Madness tournament usually is good for a couple of laughs and upsets. Even if it's only laughing at the people who are taking this far too seriously. Oh, so Logan, out of curiosity, how did you know that USC was going to lose? Just a gut feeling. Fair enough. Oh, this is the official SEC championship, and we already got people out here sporting their championship belts. Custom jobs, apparently. LSU leads the all-time series. They've won 4 of the 5 last meetings. You don't say. You don't say. You don't say. Alright, while we wait for the game that at least William voted for, so that's one of the 6. And here goes the SEC championship. They're going to boot this out of the end zone. Will be a touchback for LSU, start at their own 25. And they're focusing on LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels. Has 3,390 total yards this season, second most in team history. Thank you, Dr. Pepper, for teaching me so much. Oh, I don't blame you, Kung Fu. First snap, they're going to try a run up the middle, and it'll just be red helmet after red helmet, making a gain of 0. As well, the poor young woman has to start looking enthusiastic again once she realizes the camera's on her. Poor cheerleaders. Jaden Daniels, a nice shot underneath to number 8. Neighbors be a gain of 7. 3rd and 3. let me see. Where is that other damn thing? Well, I'm just having all kinds of technical issues today. Fantastic. Another completion by number 10 out to the 40-yard line to be a first down. LSU. Yeah, LSU Georgia was one of the picks this week, along with Kansas State TCU and also Michigan Purdue. '96 back in motion to the far side of the line, and Jaden will take it himself. He evades one tackle, is going to get a gain of 5. He's brought down by number 22 for Georgia. Oh, well. Sorry, folks. Game started. So, here we are. That first pass by Jackson State on this drive is going to be incomplete. They will be 2nd and 10 once again. And then just a horrible tackling job by Southern. You can see that they're just physically outmatched by that receiver there, number 5 for Jackson State. The last name Hooks. Well, at the very least, they were able to stop number 36 on that run. Be a gain of nothing. Jackson State already into Southern territory. 2nd down and 10. I gotta admit, I am most upset about TCU losing simply because the school had at some point adopted the Hypnotoad as their unofficial mascot and were putting up signs. Everybody was throwing up signs with the Hypnotoad on it. The stadium was playing videos of All Glory to the Hypnotoad as part of their timeout hype packages. Third and 11 now after that loss of a yard on, I'm assuming it was a run play. Maybe it was a pass play. I don't know. We know that we're only paying attention to this because it's Deion Sanders' last game before he goes to Colorado. An easy pass and catch to number 4, who once again will need a couple of people to drag him down. Oversized receivers on this Jackson State team, and now it kind of makes sense why they have such a huge passing yards per game average in their team statistics category. Close to 300 yards per game, according to their statistics page on their homepage. QB has to step away from some pressure, getting chased further out of the pocket. Will be forced to throw it out of bounds. Incomplete. Clock will stop at 10:59. Shedeur Sanders, a sophomore for Jackson State and a quarterback. Completion percentage of 70% for the year, has had 5 rushing touchdowns to his 32 passing. And they're already well within field goal range. They're going to come out of this with a score. They're sitting on the 10 right now. It's 2nd and goal. Now they're paused. Everybody stare at the sideline. They get their instructions. The hive mind commences their conquering of the world. Out of the shotgun. QB for Jackson State. Are they going to be able to keep him out of the end zone? They do. They knock Stevens out around the 4. Oh, I'm sure that will be just recruiting gold for Colorado. If only for the people that want to say, yeah, we hung out with Deion Sanders. And he definitely didn't try to sell us blockchain crypto. That end zone pass was broken up. Number 26, Johnson, in on the coverage, claims all responsibility for things going wrong on that. And now a field goal will have to be attempted. See, did he actually do anything? Yeah, he got it. He screwed around with his arm enough that he wasn't able to haul it in. So now we got a 22-yard field goal attempt for number 43. True and through. With that, the Jackson State Tigers take their first lead of the game over the Southern Jaguars. While we're just flipping back to the LSU Georgia game, because fuck it, my channel, I can decide how I occupy my time. We're still at no score, by the way, with 11 minutes to go in the first quarter of that game. Plenty of time in the pocket, and he'll overthrow his receiver by like 3 yards in the wrong direction. Georgia will punt. And I do hope you all are doing well today, however many of you are hanging out, whichever game you happen to be following the closest. Had myself a good day as well, got to sleep, got to go out and do some writing, have a good breakfast, figure out and solve a major problem in one of my scripts, and also get a really demented idea. Some nice special teams by Green, tackling the returner as soon as he caught the ball. That is a boom boom play. I am shocked that they didn't call interference in some way on Georgia for that, but they must want to let them play, at least until it leads to more drama later in the game. But then again, it's silly to think a thing like that, isn't it? Oh. We've also got a little bit of weirdness going on today because both the cats have been oddly willing to be at least 3 feet apart from each other, which... yeah, I've never seen that before. All right, I'm glad to hear you're doing good, William. Because I know that we all kind of run in the same circles as far as the sports are concerned, this is about the time of year when the teams are going to start getting eliminated from playoff contention with losses and all of that. So, for Mr. Sportsball and his eternal anger, what pop culture phenomenon is going to be used this season for the eliminated teams and the secured playoff berths? Because we've had Among Us, was a couple of years ago. Last year was, whatever the hell the name of that show was. Oh yeah, the one that the capitalists didn't understand and thought, oh, this is such a good idea. Let's have Mr. Beast redo it for YouTube in a fun zany, wacky way. Oh, Squid Game. Yeah. So, even the rules analyst in the booth agreed that it should have been a penalty, so... And because I'm not very up on pop culture, I don't know what everybody would easily relate to as far as, oh, you suck, you're no longer allowed to play with us anymore. Could be taken out of a piece of media that everyone would understand. And damn, LSU already has to use a timeout. Oh. All right. Well, now we go back to Southern. And what do we know? Just as they talk about their scoring defense, they get an interception and return it back to the one. Like I said, folks, previous score was 35-0 when these teams met earlier this season. And I have an unfortunate feeling based on the number of dark navy shirts that I can see in the stands right now that this is about to become a very boring one-sided affair very quickly. They're all hyping him on the sidelines. That was some good coverage there on the secondary by number 19. Even the athletics staff is going crazy and getting all bug-eyed screaming, let's go. Box is stacked here on this first and goal. And they're going to try to just shove the quarterback in. I don't know if he crossed the plane or not. It's always impossible to tell with this kind of camera angle, especially in these lower tier games where they can't have all the cameras available. But it looks like he will be marked short. The Southern coach is screaming out to his squad, trying to get all those instructions in. Once again, another stacked box, but they cannot hold him back this time. That will be an easy running touchdown for Wilkerson. Jackson State now up 9-0. And I'm just going to go ahead and assume that they get the extra point, because why should we have anything interesting happen today like, you know, the Hypno-Toad delivering us all from boredom? Alright, try it again, LSU. Nice pass to the sideline. They'll move the chains. 1st and 10 now at the 26. They will find a receiver up the middle. That's either Bout or Butte or Right Purdy, depending on how you pronounce that. It's different things in different parts of the country. And they're not going to And they're not going to wait. They're already down at the line. It's 2nd and 3, but they're taking a long time getting the play in, so it kind of defeats the purpose. Down to 10 minutes to go in the first quarter of this game. Going to have a tight end go in motion and use that distraction to let number 4 battle his way through the middle and get the first down. He's up. And if y'all could keep track of any other college games that are going on, let me know. I'm sure that there's got to be at least 1 or 2 other fun things happening. And extra late pressure coming out of the backfield. They force Jaden to leave the pocket, and he'll actually get about 3 yards. Troy is beating Coastal Carolina 17-0. All the exciting games never end as number 8 gets a nice pass up the middle, cuts back across the field to get into Georgia territory. That's Neighbors with a first down close to the 40. He has 40 catches for a first down in the SEC this year. That stat attributed to number 8 Neighbors for LSU. And it's another first down for the Tigers. 2 receivers out to the left for Daniels. A back sitting behind him to the right. And then he goes up to the line to make adjustments. And of course, there's noise all over. So who knows if they actually heard what he said. They're going to tease some late pressure from the side. But instead, bringing more of it up the middle. And keep that run by Emory to about 2 or 3. Oh, they were generous and gave him 3. Under 8 minutes to go. And then here we are. Back to and then we see Southern having to deal with all their mistakes, the fumbles, the missed field goal. Ooh. All right, here comes the kickoff. It will be returned from the 2, and that special team swarms quickly. They'll down them at the 13. Can't stay, so you'll hit like, go into lurk mode, and try to return before the end of the game. I remember Eddie Lacy. I miss him. Hey. Maybe he's just living his best life now, True North, and I wouldn't blame him. Sounds like a nice activity for a Saturday, honestly. Go to Burger King, order one of everything. And the pressure immediately won't get anywhere past the line of scrimmage. Number 57, Gaddy, coming out of the backfield to make a play for Jackson State. And yes, to their credit, this is the championship game as Southern gets tackled for a sack down at the 9, and that's 57 once again putting in the work. So they must have done fairly well, not only in their conference, but through the rest of the season to make it to this point. But Jackson State just being absolutely dominant here in this game, and Jaden Daniels is hurt for LSU. Oh no. Oh no. And a great run by Southern, and he will be Batista bombed into the ground by the defender after he gets the first down. Hunter probably should have gotten an unsportsmanlike conduct for that penalty. No, it's not a Batista bomb. It was a spine buster. Forgive me. Yeah. He took a spine buster right into the turf. And once again, strip sack. It will be recovered by Jackson State. Everybody, be sure to thank William. Now back we go to LSU. Yep, there's Daniels. He's still powering through it. They're at 2nd and goal right now, by the way. Clock goes to 5 minutes and below. All right. Well, we have some time here, and not much of importance is going on. Just a couple of conference championships getting their shit together. And I don't know what all of your knowledge is about this sport. Daniels is sacked at 4th and goal. Damn, you are ahead of me. Then again, I'm watching this all through Fubo, so I'm naturally behind. College basketball. I fully admit that I'm like a good 50% of the country, maybe 60, maybe 70, that I don't pay attention to college basketball until March Madness starts. And so I don't know, who's in what conference for that, because I know some basketball teams are in different conferences than their football teams. So, yeah, whatever. From you all, from your just general awareness, what are the teams that are considered, the powerhouses of college basketball these days, and what are some that I should keep an eye out for? Damian Ramos is going to be out to try the field goal for the Tigers. 9 for 12 this season. This will be a 32-yard field goal attempt. And it is blocked. And now they will attempt to run it back. Because nobody blew a whistle. Oh, look at that. Georgia touchdown. Logan informs me, Duke, Gonzaga, Kentucky, North Carolina. Wait, Duke is still in there? I thought Coach K retired to run an emerald mine in South Africa or something. Is he still going? I also am amazed by LSU's lack of urgency to not keep this potential play or this potential result in mind and just let them run down the field like that. Oh, Duke is still a dangerous team. Yeah, Duke. I kind of have not so fond memories of Duke after seeing them beat up on the University of Maryland basketball team for so many years and just be dominating, annoying. Yeah, essentially, Duke basketball for most of my life has been equivalent to the New England Patriots in the 21st century. Yeah, it's impressive how much they've done, but we all kind of wish they would just stop and go away. Styx's best guess is Duke, North Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Gonzaga. Gonzaga, tomato. Let's bring back Division III. And ignore the choreographed dances done by the Pepto-Bismol commercial. Alright, while we're on commercial here, we'll swing back over to Southern versus Jackson State. See if they've made it 24-0 since we're there. No. This is how we know that we're in a high-impact game, folks. The commercial just before it came back to the game was for Dr. Teal's Epsom salts. Must have been a pretty quick score from Jackson State. They took even less time than I thought. It's 18-0, and we still have 6:35 to go in the first. I think they're just trying to stamp Southern to death early and then force them to run throughout the entire second half. Jackson State has gotten points off of 2 turnovers, and now they just deliberately kick it out of bounds. I'm assuming for some variety. Maybe they're that bored and want to give them a chance. So, yeah, why aren't they? That was just a major mental gaffe by LSU. I do not get it. And so now, of course, they're replaying it again and again and again. Oh. And we'll have another touchback kick for LSU to start at their own 25. Yeah, worst possible time to forget the rules. And meantime, we have an injured Georgia player down on the field after that kickoff. Number 32, they seem to be tending to his leg. So he's sitting upright now. And that's where the trainer's hand was. Linebacker Chris somebody on for that kickoff. And now sitting up in the middle of the field near the LSU 20. Having what appears to be his hamstring looked over. And we take another timeout. Is it possible that in the minute and 5 seconds that I've been away from the Southern and Jackson State, has Jackson State recovered another fumble and run it for a touchdown? Surprisingly, no. We are technically under 6 minutes to go. And holy shit, Southern made it into Jackson State territory. They are at the 36 with 2nd and 11. Extra pressure coming now from the Tigers, and oh no! Another strip sack and another fumble. Jackson State recovers. Well, that was short-lived. Good evening, Luke. Good afternoon. Once again, a message for you to take to heart. Fuck self-loathing. Oh, that was Cash Jones, the shaken up player for Georgia, a freshman running back. Right now we're flipping through Jackson versus Southern and LSU versus Georgia, because Jackson is absolutely stomping Southern into the ground right now. They just got their third turnover, the second off of a strip sack. And a good run up the middle by number 27, Williams, for LSU. Will pick up about 6 or 7. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, man. When our brain meets our own worst enemy, it is a hell of a battle. Absolutely a hell of a battle. But, and I don't promise that this will take it away, but there is always chicken flavored crackers. Just enough chicken flavor to make you forget that you're eating a cracker. That's going to be another first down for LSU. It looks like Williams taking a pass out onto the near side will get shoved out of bounds after a gain of about 7. A lot of time in the pocket for Smith. And number 7, after he makes the reception, is able to get away from a couple of tacklers, cut back inside. Touchdown LSU from Butte. Or Butte, or Butte. Beauty, Bart, Bort. We'll call them Bort. It's 7-6 right now, Luke, because LSU just scored. Yeah, no, I legit sticks. Even though Essential Everyday is the generic product that I find at all the grocery stores around here, I can only find the generic chicken and a biscuit in one place. They don't sell it at the normal grocery stores around here. It's weird. With that extra point, LSU has tied it up with Georgia, 2:21 to go in the first here in the SEC championship. I certainly hope Sticks, that if you have an opportunity, you can go out and purchase some chicken flavored crackers and thank them once again for sponsoring another stupid sports show. I'm not saying that I am responsible for certain products disappearing off of shelves, but this past week when I went to my regular everyday grocery store to pick up some more crispy hexagons, then they weren't there. They were all gone. The entire space on the shelf was empty. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm responsible for my local grocery store being sold out of crispy hexagons, but it is an incredible coincidence. Luke informs you that is Kayshon Boutte, junior wide receiver, expected to declare and go in either the late first or early second. So future Packers receiver? Or are you still going for Addison? Yeah. First it was the Topo Chico, but I think that was more of some stupidly insistent people preventing products from coming over the southern border. This, I have no other choice but to believe that somehow the good word of crispy hexagons has been spreading throughout the different channels of the internet. I mean, if TCU can latch on to the Hypnotoad, anything's possible. And for my own curiosity, let's go back to Southern versus Jackson State. Oh, and Jackson State's kicking off again. What do you know? Got under 4 minutes left. And they have added another 8 to their total. Apparently, Jim Leonard will remain with the Badgers. His role is unknown. He was a defensive coordinator, wasn't he? Or what position was he in with the Badgers, Logan? Only 13 total yards for Southern University so far. They will make an effort to fake the pass and will pick up about 6 on that run up the middle. Yeah. Seal, you don't need to shoot yourself, but, just from now on, because the Hypno Toad has let us down, because that's who TCU banked all their good luck upon. Just depend on the power of Duck. And I am gathering more music and video for another Power of Duck stream later this month. Keep your ears open. Luke informs me that if Johnston is on the board when we pick him, don't know if he will. If not, then Addison. In a mock he did last night, he had Butte go from 26th to Tennessee. Yep. Don't need no credit card to ride this train. Just the power of Duck. They've made it up to their own 30 now. 2nd and 10, single back to provide extra protection. And it'll be another crossing route over the middle, caught by number 85, gain of 7 or 8. Oh, they're going to give them 8. So it'll be 3rd and 2. Now, can they get through an entire series? Can they make it to the point where they can actually punt it away? Or will there be another turnover from Jackson State? And they have a pitch over for a first down going up the middle. And it will trip over somebody's foot down at the 45. And Ligon will get the first down for the Jaguars. And meanwhile, Georgia has scored another touchdown. Yo! No whistle for interference on that one. As an incomplete pass from McDaniel to Peters, 2nd down and 10. Three receivers out to the left for Southern. Extra pressure coming from Jackson, and they will use that opportunity to just run off field and get out of bounds at the 25. Oh, wait, they changed quarterbacks. Oh, okay. The worst thing is that they just said that somebody took a timeout, but they're not indicating who it is. Okay, finally, there they go. They indicate that it is Jackson State. Wait, is Jackson... They are technically the home team. Out of the gun for the 25. Quick tackle on McDaniel as he tries to repeat his running success, but he's swiftly brought down. Gain of 3. Announcers are still insisting there is a lot of football left to be played in this game that is currently 26-0 near the end of the first quarter. Here's the Jackson State pressure again, and he outruns it again and will be brought down from behind at the 11. So that'll be 1st and 10. They will only have to get to the 1, and unfortunately, as much success as this is bringing for Southern, I fear what it's going to mean for the rest of the game if they're going to keep depending on one person to carry them on their back like TCU was getting carried by Duggan in the Big 12 championship earlier today. We wanted to run it down to the end of the first quarter. Well, and then Southern spent a timeout? Oh. Hang on. Let's get that 1 second left. Take away a timeout from Southern because they took it with 1 second to go. All right. Last play of the quarter will be a rough run. He will get nailed on either side. McDaniel will, and only gain 2 on that run to the far side of the line. So in that game, we start the second with Jackson State leading 26-0, but Southern is pretty far down in Tiger territory right now. We'll see if they can manage to do anything when we eventually switch back. But for now, let's see if LSU can keep pace with Georgia. They scored while we weren't watching. It's currently 14-7 in that match. Hello, Bruce. Bruce, with this loss, I think is going to be a perfect excuse for TCU to lose a spot in the playoffs and for both Ohio State and Alabama to get in. Considering USC lost last night, TCU lost today, I think it's going to be a wonderful return for the status quo and everybody who believes that we should only watch teams with which we've been intimately familiar because they get broadcast in every national TV event every year for everybody. Go America. Logan wants Jackson Smith-Njigba from Ohio State. Apparently the Brewers traded Colton Wong to the Mariners for Jesse Winker and Abraham Toro for somebody else. Bruce, I don't have a good answer to whether the Southern coach should be fired. I don't think it's so much a problem of he should be fired for bringing a bad game plan or not preparing, because from what I could tell, Jackson State is essentially overmatched. They've had the advantage of Deion Sanders as a recruiting tool for the past couple of seasons, and I think that, as much as anything, could explain their dominance in the SWAC. And like I said, Bruce, when they met earlier this season, Jackson State beat Southern 35-0. And if they did it about the same way with a suffocating turnover snatching defense and wide receivers that can bowl over just about any defensive secondary that they run into, yeah. I feel like there's very little you can do with that. Wait a minute. What the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? All right, replay. All right, we have a receiver going out for the pass. That wasn't even caught. That should be an incomplete. Oh my God, these refs are morons. I thought that hit the ground, not off somebody's ankle. What the... Wait. Play that again. All right. Off the hands, up into the air. Oh my God. Wait. I cannot get a good angle on what happened on this shot. It was off the receiver's helmet. Holy shit. And look at that, another Georgia touchdown. Oh, this is going to be a long afternoon, folks. And Luke tells Logan that there will be better options when the Packers pick. Hence why I want to lose out and get Johnston. Johnston's an all-pro, Addison is a pro bowler, and Smith-Jigba is a high-level number 2. And Logan informs Sticks that it was Toro for Colton Wong. Ew. Alright, so far our first 2 choices for games have been absolute smegma on a biscuit. Let's see how things are going over in UCF Tulane. And oh, there's a 0 on the scoreboard. That is not going to be any better. Whew. 10-0. Dalton Kincaid. We saw his name last night. He was a tight end for, it was either USC or Utah. I cannot remember. I want to say USC. Nope, Utah. And that's right, because he was in the bright uniform. And they were technically the away team for that. Alright, meanwhile, UCF trying to finally get into the end zone. They're inside the red zone in Tulane. That run has taken them down to the 5 or thereabouts. It will be third. Is that second and goal or third and goal? Nope, second and goal. It's the American Athletic Conference Championships. Another one that I'm pretty sure everybody was busy betting about on DraftKings. Oh, that's how it happened. Yeah. If y'all noticed the little over here on my cheek, I have absolutely no memory of how this happened. Oh, by the way, UCF just scored a touchdown. But I'm assuming that at some point I was just absent-mindedly up here with my fingernail and then just scraped some off. Xavier Townsend gets credited with a 5-yard rushing touchdown for UCF, puts them on the board. Currently 10-6 in that contest. Let's see in the meantime how many safeties that Jackson State has managed to get while we were away. Holy shit, Southern scored? Well, I'm sure Dion is not happy about that at all. Yeah, Leif, a lot of us are rather annoyed that USC lost. Maybe if we're fortunate, all of the players on Ohio State and Alabama will contract lupus from a dirty toilet seat and they won't be able to play. Neon Dion is apparently going to be taking a coaching gig at Colorado for the Bison. And an easy 1st and 10 on that run. Clearly open over the middle to number 10. He will get about 7. And he's found the perfect gap in that zone coverage. Serves them right for trying to flee to the Big Ten. I mean, free play here for Jackson State, and it is going to be picked, but it won't matter because it will be either a neutral zone infraction or offsides on Southern. Saw the guy jump, and even when I can see it and it's that obvious, then it's gotta be a thing. Yeah, Jackson State will take the flag, wipe the interception off the board, and get a 2nd and manageable. Oh no, they will get a 1st and manageable because they had very little to go after that previous play. So now they're up to their own 37. Currently about 13:20 to go in the half. Long bomb for that receiver on the near sideline falls incomplete. It was several yards ahead. Clock stops at 13:13. Oh yeah, that's what happens when you absent-mindedly pick at things. So forgive me for a moment, folks. I appear to have accidentally done something stupid without thinking about it. And I need to take a moment to clean up my face. So, we'll be back in 60. Alright, to answer your questions as I got them. Leif, this is a song called See You Later by an artist called Pitx. Pitx. It's a song that you can use for free in your broadcast as long as you give them credit. And I got it on a site called CC Mixter. Meanwhile, Logan informs me that the Badgers men's basketball team is up 38-30 on who? He didn't say. But yes, I figured that since this afternoon is a little bit lacking in the interesting games department, and Jackson State has apparently gained another touchdown while I wasn't looking. They will have to review it to see whether the mudhole stomping will continue or whether they will just have to be out of bounds. Yes, we have El Gato, and for now we will be keeping him in the lap because I am still rather weak as far as my arms are concerned. Oh yeah, he's definitely the much more chill cat. He is... I don't know so much as chill, but he is just he's just glad to be here. He's very appreciative of the fact that he's indoors and warm and knows where his meals are coming from. Like I said, his favorite place to sleep right now is on my Canadian tuxedo jacket, the big poofy red plaid one that I've worn on stream from time to time. Still reviewing this touchdown by Jackson State to see if he actually did get the ball across the plane before he went out of bounds. But Monty's favorite spot whenever I bring him in here is invariably being is when he spreads out across my lap and usually having some part of my arm to hide his face in, because that way, if he can't see the things that may be sneaking up on him to ruin his day, that means they don't exist. After review, blah, 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 that is a touchdown. Alright, are they going to go for another 2-point conversion just to emphasize the humiliating nature of this game? Let's find out. Oh, they're only going for one. Such restraint, such modesty, such sportsmanship. It is true and through, and now it is a paltry 33-7. 11:25 to go until the half. All right. Purely out of curiosity, we'll flip over to Coastal Carolina versus Troy, and whoop, they're already at half. So, guess we're not doing that. Well, Fresno State versus Boise State. Mountain West Championship. Apparently it's championship week everywhere we go. Oh, and there's that blue field. Oh. That has an effect on the eyes. I haven't seen the World Cup mascot. If it is a Casper the Ghost ripoff, I'm assuming that it is the spirit of one of those imported workers who died while trying to construct the stadium in Qatar. Fresno State has the ball, 3-0 in the second. Close contest. Pass over the middle, caught by number 5, will get out to about the 34. And things seem to be actually happening in this game, so we're going to stay here for a while. We'll check back on Jackson State and Southern every once in a while, but I don't think I've ever really watched a game on Boise State's blue field, so this will be fun. A little bit of a run up the center for Mims, whichever Mims this is. Second down and 7, gain of 3. Damn, they even got the blue-haired Elvis in the stands. I'm assuming it's the real Elvis and he just wanted to trick people into thinking he was a filthy liberal from the city. And an easily dropped pass. He had nobody trying to bat it down or mess with his positioning. He had all the room and is just off his hands, his helmet, and bouncing to the ground. Oh, he got the sun in his eyes. Convenient. Oh, and look who has shown up at the door. It's Miss Angie. They go for deep on that one and overthrow the receiver by about 5 yards, who is also sitting in triple coverage as well. So that's certainly not going to help the Bulldogs get a leg up in this game. I'm not sure if Angie is feeling bold enough to jump up while Monty is up here. I'm thinking she just wants the solo attention that she is often used to while we're doing this. Fielded on a bounce, they'll be down at about the 30, I think. I don't know how their field is set up and where the logos are. And last year, Fresno State beat Boise State in a snow game at the Blue Field 19-16 to win the Mountain West Championship. True North has a theory that Santa is Satan who tempts children with materialism. Oh, no. That's the entire crowd wants a flag on that one. Oh, yeah. I think they might have had a point with how that one receiver's arm was getting locked up when he was trying to get into position. No, that was Jeffrey the Giraffe. Why do you think everybody celebrated when Toys R Us got shut down? A miscue on the snap means that they're comparing that play to the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald for how it fell apart. Way to connect to the youth, boys. Way to connect to the youth. 3-man rush, and that ball gets batted backwards. It was a forward pass, so they will call it officially incomplete. Any tattoos? Me? No. If I ever do get a tattoo, I'll probably have to spend the entire time insisting to the tattoo artist that no, I actually really want it. Please stop trying to talk me out of it. And another great return by the Fresno Bulldogs. Looks like they are going to get an easy touchdown punt return. Nico Remigio gets the Bulldogs on the board here in the Mountain West Championship game. While we wait on that, let's see how much more pain Jackson State has brought into this game. Oh my God. I left for that long. Barely 13 seconds have passed. Oh. It's still the same score, by the way. I gotta admit, yeah. That was a car commercial that was just on, and in showing off the stereo system, what did they play? Fleetwood Mac, which happens to be one of the Christine McVie-led songs that the group had. And for those of you who weren't paying attention, Christine McVie actually passed away this week. So I can't help but think that they had several songs available and then said, yeah, get that one in the rotation. Take advantage of the nostalgia and heartbreak factor. Yeah. Oh. Apparently it was enough to get Monty out of here, with Angie just sitting menacingly in the doorway, staring all of us down. It's now 21-7, Georgia over LSU halfway through the second, and Georgia has the ball once again. And everybody moved except the center. But they will only blame 59. All right, what have you got from UCF Tulane? Well, Tulane's still up 17-7, about under 3 minutes to go until half. They're going to call that one an incomplete pass, even though he had hauled it in at midfield. He got popped hard as soon as he started to try to make a football move. Dang. Third and 5 now for Boise State. And as deflected and intercepted by Fresno State Bulldogs, they will return it to inside the Boise State 20. Ugh. Folks, we have just an entire afternoon of ugly, ugly football. And y'all thought that the NFL lineup was weak this this upcoming weekend? Damn. I mean, I am, secretly, I'm proud of the fact that I managed my time well enough to do a 5th stream without, holy crap, number 5, avoid spinning out of a tackle and getting out of bounds near the first down marker. That's Moreno Cropper for Fresno State getting that reception. Oof. Yeah. I know, True North, you voted for Coke Orange. Unfortunately, Coke Orange is a traditionally weaker team in one of the lesser conferences, so the odds that they get national coverage on any network is very rare. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. All right. Has Southern ruined things for themselves yet? Somehow they haven't, but it is 1st and 25 for some reason for Jackson State, and there will be a decent run that will pick up about 6 of that back. Finally swarmed near midfield. Oh. Well, we got a sex bot. I guess that means, despite the fact that the games have been absolute shite on toast, that we are an official stream now. Oh. And if I'd been thinking, I would have queued this up for you all to look at. But, see, where the hell is this thing? Gotta position. Because I had to go through my YouTube comments and delete some spam, you know, the usual pictures of my hot feet, you know, plug my foot in your ass and spin me like a top, you know, that usual sort of thing. But there was one today that just, that confused me. I'm not sure if it's because of a language barrier thing or the fact that there's slang that I don't understand. A missed pass by the Jackson State receiver that time. Incomplete, and he's a bit slow getting up. I'm just going to type this into chat and see if you all can tell me if there's something I'm missing. Hello, John. We're sitting in the bunch of a whole mediocre to terrible football games today, unfortunately. But maybe we can have a moment to possibly translate what this is supposed to mean. Free vert girls chat in U City. All right, so let's talk this over. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind is vert meaning virtual, but I don't understand why they would advertise it as free because, you know, that technology costs money and they're not going to give that shit away for free, or at least they'll do like a very little taste and then spring you for the cash later. And I thought, well, maybe vert is vertical, like they're, you know, like the old long, tall thing that used to be such, you know, a popular moniker back in the day, and still is in some places. You know, as opposed to curvy, just, you know, and yeah. Kip, it's going kind of meh. honestly. The games all suck. Either they're boring grind-a-thons, just one-sided affairs. It's really, really a mediocre time slot for college football right here. Well, my thing is, why don't you just put out write exactly what you mean instead of odd abbreviations and terrible misspellings that make it sound like you've only just learned how to work a keyboard. Yeah. That's another potential thought there, True North. Free virtuous girls. You know, I'm pretty sure there is a good market for people who want to talk to virtuous girls. But that is a whole other kettle of fish that I'm not going to move into, especially not during this season of hypocrisy and giving. Ugh. Yeah, and I don't even want to think about what kind of free trial you get for that, Luke. And I would hope, against all hope, that if there is a free trial, that they at least take a cleaning deposit if you decide not to buy it. And if it is a church Bible group, well, let's just say that I think they just gave me another idea for a community bulletin board announcement. Thank you, thank you. Yep, that's being saved for later. Yeah, but then we go back to the cleanup issue, Luke. I mean, it seems like you're going to sink a lot of money into refurbishing and cleanup and shipping and handling and packaging and all of that if you're going to let people just have random free trials with your sex bots that are capable of moaning. You know, as I understand, and this is strictly as I understand it because I do not own one, fleshlights are already a bitch to keep clean. So I don't know why they would want to make people handle an entire bot and not just the light. John, we're talking about this because all the football games are absolutely boring as shit. As you can see right now, Jackson State is leading Southern 33-7. They scored 26 points in the first quarter, and at least 3/4 of that were off of turnovers, interceptions, strip sacks. It's been just a blood day, and I'm looking for anything to talk about that is more interesting than the football that is being presented on almost every network today. Meanwhile, Southern QB McDaniel is able to get out of the pocket when the pressure comes and run ahead for 2. Oh yeah, it was a great convo to walk into. Really, it's blocking Luke's comment? They showed up for me. Huh. That must be a regional thing, man. Because, yeah, down here in the godless United States, and I'm pretty sure we are the godless United States at this point. At least I hope we are. That would make things much easier come tax season. And meanwhile, a fantastic grab out across the 50 for Southern. Number 8 getting the credit on that one. That was McGee for the Jaguars. Leaping at just the right time to catch that over the defender's head. Got both feet in bounds, too. And an easily missed pass to a receiver over the middle. Actually, that might have been one of the backs coming out of the backfield, number 13. I'm on live chat right now. That might be part of it. Oh, I had the mic too hot there. Forgive me. Yeah, John, I did have to apologize because I've been wearing this hat for the balance of the day just because, it's the... I was asked to yesterday, and I think people wanted the chaos. And bobbled and dropped pass there on the near sideline by number 80. Kirkwood is not able to haul that in. Incomplete. Clock stops at 4:06. Now, how does that song go? Be prepared. That's the Boy Scout solemn creed. Be prepared. And be clean in word and deed. Don't solicit for your sister. That's not nice. Unless you get a good percentage of her price. Be prepared. And be careful not to do your good deeds. If there's no one watching you. If you're looking for adventure of a new and different kind, and you come across a Girl Scout who is similarly inclined, don't get nervous, don't get flustered, don't get scared. Be prepared. Yeah, you go away now. Welcome, Foster, by the way. You've come at an opportune moment. I've given up on football. It's just... There's just nothing fun happening right now. Nothing whatsoever. And truth be told, I'm not holding out for things to change. So I think we might need to find something else to do. Oh boy. LSU is getting boat raced. Yeah, that is unfortunate. This is yeah. Jackson State is stomping Southern into the ground again, just like they did last time. Oh yeah, and the good news, Luke, I can comfortably sing that song without getting dinged for copyright because the guy who wrote it, Tom Lehrer, released all of his tunes into the public domain. So anybody who wants to cover it on their own time with their own backing and everything, they can do it. And I may have said this once before, I'll say it again, that if Metallica and Taylor Swift really want to get back into my good graces, they will release all of their material into the public domain. Yeah, Boise State's playing on the blue turf today, but last I saw, Fresno State was kind of running all over them. They had just gotten an interception, running back into Boise territory. Have they gone to halftime yet? Apparently so. Because there's nothing of importance going on over here. LSU, Georgia. 2:18 left in the half. And according to the Magic Pixies in the scoreboard, it's 28-7. Ooh. Oh, this is ugly. 3rd and 16 now for LSU, and Daniels is having to be helped off the field. And of course, Georgia is celebrating. Very classy, Georgia. Very classy. I know, Luke, it's incredible that an artist did the right thing, but honestly, Lara was one of those musicians who never really wanted to deal with being a musician or a whole musical career. Like after he did his only 3 albums, he played a couple of shows in Europe and then just disappeared and went back into teaching. He never wanted people to get the idea that he played music for a living. And nope, that was another incomplete pass. Nussmeier into the game now for LSU. He's attempting to go over the middle to number 86 and either missed that or was going for number 7 and just painfully underthrew it. Yeah, it's kind of competitive, Foster. Last I saw, UCF had kind of gotten on the board, I think. But, I don't know. Yeah, 17-7 compared to everything else. Ugh. And doesn't everything today just feel like it's kind of down and out of energy? Or is that just me? Alright, Jackson State, have you done the right thing and just blown up the stadium and declared a total victory? Because at this point, that's the only thing that I'm willing to settle for. In the meantime, they are cooking windshield wipers over an open fire to demonstrate their durability. I am so glad I never went into marketing. I am so glad I never went into marketing. Oh, I have a good feeling about tomorrow, Foster. Like I said, I'm very excited about Detroit, Jacksonville, Miami. San Francisco feels like it could be a nice collision of titans. And of course, the excitement of the Bears facing their owner, Aaron Rodgers, and possibly forcing him to sell, depending on how their defense can do getting into the backfield. Yeah, like, I believe Tim Tebow can cook. Thank you, Verbo. Am I ready to move one game from a moral victory? I don't know if you could consider it much of a moral victory if it seems like somebody on the black market would be paying $10,000 for it as a snuff film. And just to add some drama, they're going to mark that QB slide a foot short of the first down. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. TCU or Michigan game. That's really what I was hoping for. I think most of the votes that after Jackson State and Southern were for Michigan Purdue. Oh, the 6 wins so I don't have to go to US Bank. I'm not sure about that yet, Luke. Like, I know that the Lions have impressed a lot of people, but we are not there yet. Like, the Lions are getting better, but I could still see a path where the Jaguars manage to pull something out. Just because we still have many injuries. We could still be inconsistent at precisely the wrong moments, and Jared Goff is Jared Goff. For all those times when he's making great things happen, being patient, and then finding darts to receivers I didn't even know were open, he'll just... It is in Detroit, Foster. So we will have that Ford Field advantage, brought to you by Ford. Ford tough forever. Ford. 1:46 to go in the Jackson State Southern game in the first half, by the way. He's second down and approximately 2. That pass gets batted away. It was behind the receiver. Luke says that him and Zach were considering having a wager where the winning teams and lost, as we're both pro-tank, but decided it could be a bit confusing. Yeah, the deal was True North. I made a bet before the season that I thought the Lions would win at least 6 games. And I said that if they didn't, then the following season I would go to US Bank for the Vikings-Lions matchup there, dressed as a Viking. Which was why I have been growing this bad boy out as long as I possibly can, so that I can, put some, badass braids in it, maybe attach an arrowhead or like a My Little Pony figurine or something, or whatever Vikings do to look intimidating. And it's because just like all of us, we have no idea what our teams are going to look like once the season comes. We can get all of those player acquisitions, hire new coaches, draft, trade, whatever, and you don't know how things are going to turn out because of luck, happenstance, injuries, coaching, scheming, philosophy, until the season comes. And all I really wanted was just 3 more wins than last year. That's it, 3 more wins. But it looks like it's not going to happen. For the record, by the way, I had also made a bet with Adam about where the Vikings were going to finish. And he would have had to do something really embarrassing if the Vikings finished 4th, but they're definitely not. They're definitely not finishing 4th at this point. And he's gotten so cocky that he's tried to change the bet to if they finish anywhere but first place. But I have a feeling that he didn't really want to go to Lambeau Field in a lion costume. And besides, we're going to have the excitement in the following week of another Vikings-Lions matchup. So, we might do a little something for that, because we've had fun in our broadcast together and having the friendly bets with each other. I'm going to do my best to try to make that happen next week for the broadcast. So, stay tuned. I think we should be able to make it work. If not, we'll be very sad. But that's the things they go. Yes, the Adam Wrong song that brought a lot of mirth to many of the mods when we did it. That's right, Foster. hoping to co-stream. I don't know if we'll do a preview of that game. I hadn't heard anything from him about doing it. He might be waiting to arrange that until after this week is done. Because the Vikings are playing who again? I have already forgotten because I do not pay attention to these things. That's right, they're playing the Jets. And that should be a fun contest simply because of the Jets' much improved defense going up against the offense that has been able to bail out Minnesota in many games and situations this season. There goes McDaniels making a lot of defenders miss and getting a couple yards shy of the first. Plus the magic of Mike White. Exactly, Luke. So I have a feeling that Adam wants to get through this possible week because the Vikings could also clinch the North. If the Vikings win and we lose, then yeah. Yeah, there will be some wailing and gnashing of teeth in the vicinity of the Grossi house, wherever that is. And I mean wherever that is. Any of you type something other to the effect in chat, you are banned. Last night was an interesting night in Q&A, if you couldn't tell. Wow. And Jackson State getting sloppy in the secondary play. Southern has already moved within the 10. 16 seconds to go in the half, and they forgot, and they're just letting shit happen out there. Yeah, somewhere on Earth, I assume. Ideally, a place with oxygen. Penalty flag comes flying in at the end of that play. Tackle down at the 2 with a run up the middle. People are jawing off at McDaniel right now. He's giving back as good as he's getting. And of course, it's holding on the offense. So how are they going to end this half? We will have to wait to find out. Oh. Hooray. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard all about it, Luke. I heard all about it. I remember it. I don't know so much about giving up on the Q&A as much as yeah. A number of people take it as an excuse for wilding out when they really don't need to. And it's kind of a shame. It also gives me many, many reservations about wanting to make this channel grow if it means I'm going to have to, wrangle that many cats. And they're not going to try. They're not even going to try. They're just going to take the field goal. 33-yard attempt for Southern, and it gets blocked. And they will have to... There will be a flag because one of the Jackson State players advanced the ball by kicking it down the field. So that's going to be an obvious penalty. Yeah, I love the Q&As. We have a lot of fun in them, whether we're talking about, the history, the music, the movies, and the thing there. 35-10 lead at the half for UGA. And meanwhile, we have a squabble at the end of this contest between Jackson State and Southern at the end of the first half, anyway. God, I don't even know where the wrong song link is anymore. I'm sure there's got to be somebody who who has it saved and bookmarked as one of their favorite things ever. So if any of you do, feel free, mods, to throw that in chat. I won't stop you. Offsides on the defense. And on sportsmanlike conduct on the offense. What? Oh my god. They're gonna make us go through one more play because they wanted to force both penalties but not call one for kicking. Alright, we're gonna try this field goal again, folks. There you go, John. Take it, bookmark it, watch it until you can memorize all the words. And hopefully Adam will get me to do something equally ridiculous next week. Because it would just feel bad if I got 2 of those out of him in consecutive seasons. Oh, that's who they're playing, Marquette. This will now be a 43-yard attempt, and then flags come in again. End the half, get it off my screen. Hurry up and finish, please, or I'm going to scream. Oh, they will move it forward for the encroachment. So it's now 39-yard attempt. Oh my god, they actually made the field goal. So now it's only 33-10. Jackson State over Southern in the SWAC championship. We have finally reached halftime in the game that we decided to cover for some reason. And we will get back after this pause for the cause. That is Angie at the end of the Adam Wrong song. I know, my mistake was making this game an option. I was trusting the wisdom of the crowd when I underestimated their willingness to troll. Another Stupid Sports Show will return on 106.9 Click FM after this. the amount that they're trying to hype up the Saints-Buccaneers game. The Saints-Buccaneers in the friggin' NFC South, where everything is turmoil and nothing makes sense. Oh man, I swear, they must have been banging their heads against the wall at ESPN all weekend just to find some angle with which to promote that occurrence. And Troy is beating Coastal Carolina 38-13? Oh. 45-13. And the third quarter's not even done yet. Oh. Did one of the players tackle each other in an effort to make them miss? Because I'm not sure how much more chaos can be added to a toss the ball into this comically oversized hole, people who have no idea how to throw a football sort of contest. And meanwhile, there's Ohio getting shown what for by Toledo in the MAC championship. So, yeah. Who the hell knows? And Toledo wins the MAC championship 70-7 over Ohio. Meanwhile, they're desperately trying to get some excitement going for Purdue, Michigan. Michigan now listed as 16.5 point favorites over Purdue. They tied at the Horde, tied at the next Horde, and then did it on a tiebreaker? Man, that's bullshit. Just freaking ridiculous. Oh, man. Oh, this is a real shame. Well, while we're here, might as well give another shout out to all of our sponsors for this afternoon's broadcast of another stupid sports show here on 106.9 Click FM. First, big thank you for the returning chicken flavored crackers. Just enough chicken flavor to make you forget that you're eating a cracker. And from the Prairie Street Brewing Company, Screw City Lager. You never forget your first taste of Screw City. Yeah, it's definitely, you know, it's an off day when I remember to get sponsorships done at halftime. Oh, and now Luke wants to get a wager going. For the Red Wings and Capitals. How are the Red Wings doing this season, Luke? Because I know you got to be keeping closer track of it than I am keeping track of the Capitals. I know that sounds bad as a Capitals fan, but I've kind of acknowledged that they stink this season. They're coasted on letting all the championship players ride out their contracts and that such, and I don't expect much out of them. Because I'm trying to think of what would be a good thing to bet on. Because I think the Red Wings could probably easily beat the Capitals. So, Up and down, decent on offense, but the Red Wings defense is suspect. And that game is on 12/19. 12/19. No, let me actually type it down, computer. Don't switch me back to the chat. I think you have very weird ideas about what the return key means, computer. Red Wings versus Capitals. Bet with Luke? Question mark? I'm interested, Luke. Just give me a day to think it over. I will get back to you tomorrow during my streaming time. Sound good? Hey. No, I'm up for it. I mean, we're going to need more fun and humiliation to occupy ourselves with now that college football is disappearing. And that sounds like it could have some potential. Oh, and now they're focusing on the FCS championship because there's so little that's happening in the FBS championships. Montana versus North Dakota State, and Montana intercepts, runs it back for the Pitx. But then North Dakota State breaks off a run and is currently leading 42-20. Yeah, never mind. Even in the FCS, we can't get anything resembling a fun game. That is disappointing. That is very disappointing. Luke has one with M on the Red Wings Hurricanes game. Don't worry, Luke, you're not the only one who hates the Hurricanes. I'm pretty sure all of Canada has issued a fatwa on those bunch of jerks. Then again, I'm still bitter about the Red Wings sweeping the Caps in their first trip to the Stanley Cup that they ever had. Please, any game, some game, something. Give me hope that I'll have some honest to God competition, some excitement, some action to watch. No. Yeah. I mean, the Battle of Alberta was fun. It was fun. If it hadn't been so one-sided in favor of the Oilers, I probably would have appreciated it a bit more. Maybe we'll get lucky again. We could have the Rangers and the Islanders facing off. That's always a fun. That could be a barrel of laughs. Or if we really wanted to get into some classic rivalry, Washington-Pittsburgh, and Washington and Pittsburgh truly hate each other. And then there's the Wendy's employee sitting in Santa's lap asking if he can raise the national minimum wage to $20 an hour. I assume that's what they're doing because I don't know why you'd be asking Santa to improve the quality of the food, because that's a corporate decision all the way. I'm just shocked that they're still doing the famous bowls. But I guess enough people like the failure pile and the sadness bowl. Yes, Luke, there will be hockey streams in the future. I have been gathering together, along with the help of many people in the chat, possible hockey bingo squares. So we're going to have some. We got a lot of good selections for that, and the fact that there are games usually about every night of the week for hockey, I think we're going to have a lot more excitement to choose from as the season goes on. And if I look at the list that we created yesterday during the Utah USC game, oh yeah, we got some common, rare, and super rare squares, a little bit of each, and yeah. I think we can have some funs. I definitely think we can have some funs in that. Oh. And of course, I just realized what square we have to put in. Just because I love this tradition from the early days of the Washington Capitals. If a team scores 6 goals or more in the game, then it's pizza time. Oh, look at that. Fresno State, Boise State's back, and it's 14-9. Boise State now driving down the field. They're close to halfway through the third quarter. A full offensive line. They fake the handoff, and Green will take it out of bounds for a gain of 4. But they will only give him 3. Oh, no, they did give him 4. Holy shit. Mm-hmm. It was only for the it was only for the Caps scoring 6. If they gave up 6, then everybody just cried. Oh, that's a good square, Tim. Original 6 mentioned on broadcast. God. Leafs are playing the Bolts tonight at Scotiabank, and the Bruins are playing the Avalanche at 7 p.m. tonight in TD Bank. Oh yeah, everybody wins when a goalie scores. You know those are just great to see. Tim says you just called it a 6-pack, and 8 we called a snowman. A near interception for Fresno State off the hands of the secondary. Now, Foster, I understand that a lot of people don't like the Chicago deep dish because it's essentially lasagna with an edible plate. Yeah. It's not bad. It's just different pizza. But expecting somebody to finish off an entire deep dish no matter what size, that's just cruel. Like, that thing is so loaded with cheese that even if you get halfway through a small, you feel like you're going to burst. Well, Luke, at least you only have to be a Cane's account for a week. It isn't as bad as when Tom had to put Larold on his desk for every video. I wonder if I can get him to do that bet again at week 17. You think we have a shot of that happening again? I would like it. Or do you think he's going to want a little bit more on my end? Yeah, my ass, there's only 35 minutes left in this game. They've barely gotten into the third quarter. If you give up 6, you get free antidepressants. Nice. Other side of the wager, who knows? I've already forgotten mostly what we were talking about. I think it might be because the Southern Jackson State game is back on and I'm shutting down important parts of my brain so they don't get damaged by this any further. It's 4th and 6, by the way. Southern seems to have made a stop and will force Jackson State to punt. Put all those timeouts back. No. And it looks like that punt was blocked. Because it just rolled out the side. Out the sideline. Out of bounds. Okay. So this is just going to be chaos everywhere, I assume. Yeah. Punter had a high snap, and it gave enough time for somebody to come in off the corner and just whoof. It is because we're all bored, Foster. Just, yeah, we're in a losing battle against mediocre play, and then just pass 2 defenders and the receiver incomplete from McDaniel. All right. I might as well, because we're all bored, throw this question into the chat. It's something I'm going to touch on Monday night for another stupid streaming show, and for a very specific reason. And I want you all to respond to this, those of you who can, and answer this question to the best of your ability. If you don't feel you can, don't worry about it. There is nothing wrong with saying, I don't know the answer. Remember that, folks. Welcome back, John. But without denigrating the other members of the group, and without getting into arguments with other people in chat about it, who is your favorite Beatle and why? I will patiently await your responses. Let's see if we can handle this conversation. They manage a quick pass over the middle when pressure comes off the right side. Whitfield will get the catch for a first down. And John takes John because it's the same name as him. But That is a good reason. Oh my goodness. Southern just scored a touchdown. Well, gather up the pets and stock up the canned goods because the apocalypse is coming sooner than we thought. I don't think this will wreck Deion Sanders' coaching career at Colorado before it starts, but it will be kind of hilarious if Jackson State chokes this game away just because they got too cocky and decided to coast. Foster Vaughn says they don't care, so they say Beetlejuice. All right. William doesn't know. That's totally all right. Yeah, Adam, the wrong song is better than the SWAC Championship of 2022. Well, I understand Luke takes George because of his underrated songwriting ability. While My Guitar Gently Weeps is a great song. Do love it. Well, I came across a certain piece of media that, it reminded me of that classic argument that music geeks will like to have, when they're not yammering on about the Beatles are overrated or Revolver's better than Sgt. Pepper or yada yada yada, to make everybody feel dumb about their opinions and, have an excuse to argue with each other. But I think it's also nice in a way that so many people have I don't know, for an answer. Yeah, it's going to be just all sorts of feces is going to fly across the college world and the poll and the coaches and all of that. I'm sure it will be very calm, rational, and respectful discussion online. Especially in the comments section. Yeah, that's right, Angie. Never read the comments section. It's a trip straight to hell. I know. Isn't it, though? Oh boy. That can't be good. That is the second time in a row today that I have spilled something on my keyboard. Even when I thought I had it safely in place. And Angie is not in the mood to stick around for my bullshit. So, oh yeah, we having all kinds of fun this afternoon. And I'll make sure, Luke, to get your request in for While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to do a cleaning job on that after this stream's over. Well, at the very least, there aren't any sparks coming off my keyboard, so that's a small relief. Well, get that written down. While my guitar gently weeps. Quest for Luke. And I also spilled the beer on myself. Oh, waste of good Screw City. What a shame. I don't know why you wouldn't want to come up here, Angie. I mean, I put your blanket right there in your usual spot. Or are you just looking for an opportunity to leave an angry poop somewhere on the floor where I can't find it? She was looking for an opportunity for an angry poop on the floor somewhere where I couldn't find it. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, now they're only down 18 to Georgia. Yeah, that does add a little bit of pep into the step of things. Are they in the second half yet? Time has become an illusion. What is the funniest thing that I have ever done as the result of a wager? Okay. All right. This isn't exactly a wager, but I did have to follow up on something that people expected would make me feel uncomfortable, and I got a good laugh out of it. So that's the first story that's going to come to mind, and it's what I'll be talking about for the next couple minutes. So, I don't know how many of you have ever done any theater, whether it be in high school, community, whatever, but there is a part of the rehearsal process, the tech day, where you go through the show and you assign lighting levels and cues and, determine, at what points in the script everything is supposed to change on the lines, at the ends of scenes, whatever. And it's a very long and drawn out process where the actors essentially spent the day sleepwalking through their scenes and then hanging out in the wings, being eternally prepared for their scene to come up. And if you don't have a lot of stage time, that's usually about 6 out of 8 hours of a day where you're just sitting around doing diddly shit. And on one truly boring show where we had a bunch of people who appeared on stage in the first scene and then never again through the rest of the show, it was especially brutal. So at a certain point, yeah, John, it is. So at a certain point, all these people, and keep in mind, it was a college show, got bored enough where they decided to play Spin the Bottle. Now, for context, there was a running joke at my school, and specifically within the acting program, which is where I was. And the joke was, what do you call a straight acting major at this school? A freshman. And it had rung relatively true because a number of guys had come out of the closet at one point or another during our time together. But I was one of the ones who, well, if I didn't realize that I was gay at the perfect opportunity to truly express myself, then the odds were good that I wasn't. But I was another one of those parts that only had like brief appearances through the rest of the show, so I was hanging out with everybody else, and I joined in on the Spin the Bottle game. So, I got the bottle landed on me, I got one. We flexed the rules so you could either do like full-on lips or polite peck on the cheek if like it landed on girl or guy on guy. And some girl, I don't remember who, spun the bottle, landed on me, I got my kiss. And then I got to spin. And it spun around, around and around, and it landed on the guy next to me. A very out and proud freshman by the name of Daniel. And I guess to give me a break, he got a big smile on his face and then just extended his cheek to let me off the hook. And I heard that my scene was coming up. My entrance. So, just for shits and giggles, I took his face and gave him a right on the lips. Every single girl screamed. He got this look on his face like, oh. And I was like, that's my cue. See y'all later. And just walked out. We all got in trouble for making noise backstage, but I'm pretty sure that that was the highlight of that tech rehearsal. The rest of the show wasn't very good either. And Leif informs me that LSU fans just got a flashback to week 1 with Georgia blocking a chip shot field goal and returning it for a TD. Wait, they got another one? Aside from the one that they had earlier? Oh, man, LSU is going to have a brutal day. Hope Inject is holding up okay. Between the Saints and LSU, it's been a brutal season for Louisiana sports. Oh, you're talking about the one that was earlier in the game. Yeah, that. I think everybody's brain just shut down during that field goal. I have no other way to explain what happened. Oh my goodness, time has passed because I was ignoring the game, thankfully, and Jackson State is marching down the field to prove that they're still paying attention and they actually want to win this. He has the Pelicans to comfort him, sure, but I don't care about the NBA, so there you go. Anyway, if Ohio loses as well, Alabama gets in. You mean, I'm assuming you meant Ohio State, because we just saw the result from Ohio, who got whooped by Toledo in the in one of the championships. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just don't know why LSU forgot the rules about live balls getting deflected during a field goal. That's all. But, so yes, to answer your question, Luke, that is the funniest, off the top of my head, wager to settle a bet. Live grenade. Well, there was also a time that I learned that you're not allowed to make a toast with water. That was off the one hand of the Jackson State receiver. He really wants a flag. He's not going to get one. It will be 4th and 9, and on will come the field goal unit. All right, we'll switch to the LSU UGA game. I have no problem with that. All right, so there's this one night, like my first year in Chicago. I'm hanging out in a bar that doesn't exist anymore because it got turned into a parking garage for a hotel that is now owned by the friggin' Ricketts. Yeah, see, they are marching down the field. Incomplete on that pass into the end zone, 2nd and 10. And so this was just like a post class gathering. I was going through the program at the ThIIrd, which also no longer exists. You know, learning improv and comedy and all that happy crappy. And I was also dirt poor, so I was only there. All I had was a glass of water. Nobody knew each other well enough to buy drinks for each other yet. And I toasted somebody, and they're like, "You can't with my water, and they're like, you can't toast with water. This is a rule that I hadn't heard before. And so I looked around, and the only thing that was available on the table for me, besides the big pitcher of water, was a bottle of hot sauce. So, being dumb and young at the time, I grabbed the hot sauce and I was like, all right, let's toast. And everybody got this frightened look on their face. I don't think they thought I would actually go through with it. They said, you're not going to actually drink that out of the bottle, are you? I said, no, just pour some into my hand and then lick it out. They're like, no, please don't do that. Please don't. Toasted his glass and then just... I was okay for about 3 seconds. And then the pain came in. Nice catch over the middle by number 86. He's probably going to be about a yard shy of the first down. And then my head was down on the table and I was just pounding it in pain. And our waitress, who had been watching the entire time, just bought over a soda to me and said, drink this and please don't do that ever again. So if you're really desperate and dumb, I mean, you could drink some raw hot sauce to get a free soda out of the bartender, but it's not a thing I would recommend. Hi, Ishii, you've entered at an awkward time in the conversation. And to answer your question, John, I just assume that that every referee will say something stupid at least once per game. And also, the Southern Jackson State game is dumpster fire on wheels. So, we're now taking in LSU, Georgia, and LSU is currently in the red zone, about 5 yards away from... Rolling on the field stands, it will be fourth down. Alright, let's go on to... Because nothing else good is happening, we'll continue story time. Let's see, what other... Oh. Okay, Alright, so can I tell you... I told you all about my first experience with cocaine, right? Well, where I actually had it in my possession. And LSU gets stuffed on fourth. They'll turn the ball over on downs. It will be 1st and 10, Georgia, deep in their own territory. Yeah, I thought I told you all about that, about finding a baggie in the backseat of my passengers and backseat of my lift and doing the gum test and realizing, oh shit, that's really cocaine back here. I have cocaine in the car, and then freaking out and driving under the speed limit the entire way home so I could flush it down the toilet. However, there is another time where, well, I did not get offered any, but I definitely know it was around. Now, alright, my sophomore year of college, I asked for one thing for Christmas, and that was a vacation. I just wanted to get away from everything. I'd been having a horrible time at school. Between that and dealing with family shit and the fact that I was doing so horribly at what I had chosen to do with my life that I didn't know if I wanted to do it anymore, I just decided I wanted to take a train trip across the country. I would stay with friends, a couple distant relatives, check into whatever hotels I could, but just see more of the country. I met a lot of cool, interesting people. I hitchhiked and got rides from migrant workers, priests, people on their way to birthday parties, and even recent parolees. It was a good time. That's the thing, I didn't take anything, but the fun part comes from the people I met on the return trip. So the last leg of the trip, straight shot from Chicago to DC. In Chicago Union Station, I'm waiting in the waiting room, and across from me is this young couple, and they are having one of those quiet public couple arguments where like there's the angry looks and just the short clipped sentences are coming through, but they don't want to make a whole big thing about it. So what I learned from this couple was they had, as of that day, just finished a taping of the Jenny Jones show, a daytime talk show that was on at the time. And the guy, whose name I found out was Trip, had brought his girlfriend, Crystal, onto the show to confront her about her cheating on him. But then it turned out to be a reversal. She was actually bringing him on the show to confront him with his cheating on her. He took a polygraph test, and he failed. And he was still trying to patch things up after the show was over. And at this point, I was just like, this is kind of free entertainment. I think I want to keep track of this. So we get on the train, and I end up finding Trip in another seat, and Crystal is sitting far away from him in the observation car. And he's just in tears as he's like, I swear I didn't cheat on her. I know she's just upset because we haven't eaten all day and she's really hungry. And I can't stand to lose her. And so, as it happened, I had in my bag emergency rations, a loaf of bread, and a jar of peanut butter. And I was like, all right, let me see if I can help. And I went to my bag, made a quick, basic peanut butter sandwich, and I approached Crystal and I said, hey, I know it's been a rough day, and if you are hungry, here's a little something. I know there's no jelly, but at least it's food. And who wants to buy train food, especially when the cafe car is closed? And as it happened, it worked. And the night evolved to me, Trip, and Crystal hanging out with Andrew, a heroin dealer from the East Coast, who informed me that all the good heroin is in Philadelphia, and a dude who looked like the male version of Velma from Scooby-Doo. And we spent the rest of that night playing poker in the downstairs level of the club car, with them doing lines off the table, me keeping a lookout for the conductor as they tried to break into the locked snack cabinet, and then having discussions about mysticism and spirituality and what the nature of God really is and how that could take different forms for different people. And they're just continuing to do lines off of the cafe table. I'm like, no, I appreciate it, but I think I want to have my mind open for this one. And I knew it could have been like a very easy invitation, to get some more experimentation into my life, but it was the end of a 3-week trip at that point. I figured the last thing I needed was to be coked out of my mind on an Amtrak train. So, I politely declined. But the good news is that Trip and Crystal did manage to patch things up. I got a letter from them like a couple months later. I wrote them to, just check. I got their address. I wrote them to check up on how things were doing, and things were going well with them. I had a great life talk with Andrew, the drug dealer, about not knowing what you want to do for a living and just making choices to satisfy yourself. And honestly, that was the turnaround that I needed to keep going with this weirdo lifestyle that I have chosen for myself. That summer, I got my shit together, made a movie. It was a shitty movie. It only ran about 80 minutes and it was shot with no mic and a basic camcorder. But I shot and directed in a whole movie in a week and got it edited and everything. No, you can't see it. I don't even have a copy anymore. But all it took was a bunch of people doing lines off the cafe car to help me see what I really wanted to do with my life. And it was to stay in the weird as much as possible. Oh yeah, you can meet a lot of interesting folks on the Amtrak train. It's a level up from the bus, where you could just hope that the people who are sitting next to you have showered at least once in the past 24 hours. But yeah, that was my first potential run-in with cocaine. And after that story's done, it's now 42-17 LSU. No, 42-17 Georgia. Forgive me. Out of pure curiosity, how are things going in Southern versus Jackson State? Let's just flip over and see. Oh, well. This is where we are right now, folks. It's, Southern has scored again. Jackson State added a field goal, but now the Jaguars are only down by 12. Yeah. Yeah, today is a shit show, and Tulane is now up 31-14 over UCF. Ugh. Ugh. Well, that's a crapper. What about Fresno State, Boise State? Come on. Tell me something good. 28-9. Yep. And it's the fourth quarter. Okay. Fuck that noise. Let's just go back to LSU. At least I can somewhat stomach the disappointment of a major school. Yeah, buddy, you get those moves on with the dance team, man. Good job. Oh yeah. Tell you what, Ishii? Did I get very far? Like, did he have a car? Was it love at first sight? Did they put up a fight? What am I supposed to tell you? And Daniels is still limping on the sideline. All right, back to 1st and 10 now. They're at their own 35. LSU QB and shotgun, single back to his right. 2 receivers on either side. Oh. Ah, okay. Yeah. You know what? I've actually put a setting on my streams now where I am automatically recording everything that's on the basic camera shot, so with none of these overlays on it. So I can grab stuff that, you know, piques my interest during the stream and then use it for future clips. Let me see if I can come up with some other story times. Yeah. You know, nothing big. You know, the short version is that nothing makes young women in a theater school and squeal and young gay men in a theater school more surprised than a heterosexual dude who is willing to kiss another guy fully on the mouth. And I'll be pass interference in the end zone on Georgia. All right, let's see. All right. Actually, do you all want a... Would you all like a funny story or a kind of heartbreaking story? Funny? Yeah, everybody wants funny. Everybody wants funny. Even with the extra clearance by the tight ends, that run is only going to get to the 1 for LSU. All right, funny. All right, let's go through the mental Rolodex to see if we can find a funny story. Funny story. All right, you'll have to give me a... Oh yeah, the Angie store. Yeah, Angie crapping in the closet. That's the level that we're looking for. Oh, LSU just scored a touchdown. Good for them. Now they're just over... Now they just barely have over half the points that Georgia does. And they're going for 2. I've only done the one bet with Tom. I'm a little unsure if he'll want to do more with me after losing that one. But I'm going to talk to Adam and see if he wants to arrange any wagers for this upcoming game. And well, I'll keep an eye on the LSU game, and I'll keep brainstorming for funny stories. So just I appreciate your patience. Your chat is very important to us, and we will be with you as soon as possible. I promise. Meanwhile, impromptu story time here on another Stupid Sports Show. 106.9 Click FM is brought to you by chicken flavored crackers. Just enough chicken flavor to make you forget that you're eating a cracker. And our good friends from Prairie Street Brewing Company, Screw City Lager. Never forget your first taste of Screw City. Alright, funny stories. Well, there's a good one. No, that's not so much funny, haha. That's more clown dies kind of funny. No, we probably don't want clown dies kind of funny. That's a little bit dark. Let's see. Well, passes over, thrown out of the end zone, incomplete. Yeah. Not like literal clowns, Ishii, but you just like the... that's just to imply something that's like, you know, darkly funny or ironically funny. That's all. Oh, the taped up elf on the shelf. Yeah. There's a business around here in Rockford. They're called the Velvet Robot Coffee Lab. They got 2 locations, one closer to downtown and one is closer to where I am. And I went to the one downtown today because the one that's closer to me is closed. And in this wonderful spirit of channeling both the Elf on the Shelf and ThIIrd, they had taped him to the pole with the shh, ha 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 message on him. And I wanted to ask who had put it up because I just really wanted to give them a high five, but figured I didn't want to be that weirdo guy. I mean, I already have the crazy wild beard and the stoner eyes. I don't need to make the youngins behind the counter more uncomfortable. Funniest college story. Okay. So, all right. That brings to mind a couple of things. First, let's just call this dude that I am going to mention Bailey. Bailey was a dude who came to my school during my sophomore year. He's a freshman in the program. And usually in our theater program, whenever a party was scheduled, you know, word of it would spread pretty quickly to everybody else because, you know, for as much of a bar scene as there wasn't really a reliable fake ID system. Nobody wanted to take a chance with it. Hello, Shifty. We're talking about other things because all the football games are boring as fuck. And the parties were really a great reliable place to socialize and drink and, you know, just get out the stress. So, Bailey, for however good he was of a performer, he did not know how to handle his booze. And at one specific party, I do not know which, but I heard very, very clearly about the aftermath that he had shown up piss drunk to the party already. And at a certain point, wandered into the bedroom, found the bed where everyone had laid down their coats, got up on the bed, and crapped on the coats. I am not sure what possessed him to do this. I am not sure what made him think it was a good idea. But from then on, the general standard of behavior is if you don't get drunk enough to crap on the coats, then you're pretty much okay. And after that, nobody really invited Bailey to parties anymore, and when they heard that he was showing up, people would make an effort to grab their coats out of whatever pile that they had thrown them into and just keep them under their arm until he left. So, it reminds me of the first time that I got that level of drunk, except I did not screw over my reputation by destroying anybody's coats with a fecal surprise. I was stuck in Philadelphia because I had rehearsal for a show that weekend, couldn't go home, and the night before I went to a goodbye party for one of the people in my year who had just gotten a chance to go over and study in Moscow. Where there's the Chekhov and the Stanislavski and all the origins of method acting and shit, blah 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 blah. And sooner or later, word got around that when midnight hit, I would be in the eyes of the law 21 and legally allowed to drink. So as soon as midnight hit, I was dragged over to the kitchen where the huge array of liquor bottles was sitting, because this was a big party. Everybody was celebrating really hard for our friend. And I had 11 shots poured down my throat in the space of 10 minutes. The last two of which were back-to-back shots of gin. At a certain point, I remember becoming non-functional. And just kind of laying on the floor, taking in the world, thinking about things, wondering when the room would stop spinning. Yes, at a certain point, I did crawl into the bathroom and throw up from those 11 shots. Hello again, Sorgi. But the thing was, this party was taking place on the far, and I mean far, south side of Philadelphia. A lot of us had to search out rides to get to this place because public transportation in that part of the city was and still kind of is pretty crappy. And it doesn't run as much times as it does in Chicago. It doesn't stretch as far as it does in other cities. It's just abysmal. And I had gotten a guaranteed ride home from one of my friends in the theater program. But when I finally became aware of reality again and had cleared all the alcohol out of my system, I couldn't find my ride. And so, still very drunk and still very wobbly, I ended up walking home to my apartment through South Philly at about 2:30 in the morning, still drunk as hell, snow and ice everywhere. I am amazed that I stayed upright the whole time and didn't bust my ass on a patch of ice. Freezing cold, still weaving, and only figuring out where I was going by the lights of the tall towers of Center City. and then just crawling into bed and spending the next day moaning and feeling worse than I ever had up to that point in my life. I got back into class that following weekend. I discovered that people thought that I was dead because I had just left, and they were scared that I had wandered off into a neighborhood somewhere and hadn't called anybody, talked to anybody, and, you know, because they were my ride home, and they didn't know if I was okay. But, yeah. I know it's not the best moral for a story, but if you do get a ride for a party, make sure you stick around and keep in contact with them. Oh yeah. I've seen a couple of those, John. They put them through on like a local frequency that doesn't have any radio stations on it, so that you can see it change with the lights. Those are cool. I can dig those. And meanwhile, Boise State has scored. Leif is still annoyed that the Huskies won't be going to the Rose Bowl because of the USC loss to Utah. The Badgers have beat the Marquette Golden Eagles 80-77 in overtime. But, yeah, I was amazed that I got home alive, and another one of my friends who I was, well, let's just say for a better lack of a word, I was her side guy to her main relationship. She made dinner for me the next night. She actually made me a steak dinner out of just, you know, care and pity or something else. Oh, Georgia scored again. Hooray. So that took the edge off the drunkenness a little bit. Uno reverse. Hey, Luke? Alright, Uno reverse. Alright. Yeah, we might as well. Fuck it. Yeah, I was a side piece for my last 2 years of college and for the first 2 years that I was in Chicago. But that's a story for another time, because that one is sad as hell. So, Uno reverse. So, the Grassi mods. 2-point conversion is good, by the way. The Grassi mods will get together from time to time, less than we do these days, but very often we will hang out, we will play online games with each other. You know, we get like the Discord Truth or Dare bots, we'll do some online Cards Against Humanity, all that sort of thing. I didn't get as far, Logan, as ripping my shirt in half on the walk home. In fact, I am surprised that I did not get mugged or lose any of my clothing along the way. But one night, there's like a whole bunch of us playing Cards Against Humanity, and you know, people are dropping out as the night's getting later and later and later, and at a certain point, there's only like 4 people left in the game. No, we're having story time again. Now we're talking about why Luke is saying reverse Uno. And we get the suggestion of a new sexual position, the reverse blank. And one of the mods gives the answer, and I think this was one of those blank filled in on your own answers, of reverse ejaculation. And I just remember being very confused about how that was supposed to work. Because putting it together in my mind, that just breaks every single law of physics that I could think of. Like, the only thing that I could possibly put together is something that happened if you happened to climax as you were falling backwards into a black hole, so everything would just like shoot out through the other side of your body. That was the only way it made sense to me. And once the image got into my head, I could not stop laughing. It broke me. And it was one of the first times that I had ever been broken in a chat. And even to this day, that lives on. And whenever somebody feels like being daring and I show up in voice chat, Adam will hold up a reverse Uno card. Just to remind me of how silly, how dirty, and what is the level it takes to get me to crack. Of course, I also crack at the silly shit, but I've had a pretty good poker face for most of my life, for reasons that I won't get into here, because they're also very sad, but this is not the stream for that. We are trying to find moments of joy. Georgia has 50 points. Screw this. What do you got for me, UCF versus Tulane? Oh no. This is far, far, far from a Santorum, True North. We don't want to be spreading that. Wait, was I a dumbass and covered up the picture? Yep. I told you I still had this picture. I actually put it up on the wall. Sorry for the blinding light. All right. And like I said, this was a genuine picture that was out in front of a tanning salon in Philadelphia during the early part of the 2000s. For their offer of give $5 or more to Liberty City, I'm guessing that was a charity, and get a free tan at Sun Worshippers, the tanning salon. And they had a poster with Rick Santorum's head on it. It said, "Some people are just too white." I don't have the energy to make shit up like this anymore, because the world is creating it on its own. Yeah, we should do a game night at some point. Yeah. We're gonna have to figure out some way to arrange that. I will mull it over. Oh, are they up to 56 now, Sorgi? Ugh. Let's check in, because Tulane just got another touchdown and extended their lead. And I am starting to really lose interest in keeping track of the rest of these games. And they hold off on showing it. No, they're still at 50. Oh, no, it was an interception. Dang. You know what? Because I do want to get some of y'all involved, even if you're not mods. There's gotta be a way to do this. Oh, there's the interception. Yeah, well, that game's over. Micah Abernathy and Patrick Taylor have been called up from the Packers practice squad. Ooh. What exactly is golf with friends? I've never heard of that one. Man, there's not even an option to go to the Southern versus Jackson State game anymore. They took it away. They didn't want to touch it. And now I can't get back to it. I have to laugh to keep from crying. Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, they said screw it, as I think we all have at this point. You know what? Yeah, even ESPN is over it. So, fuck it, folks. Let's go out on a high note. For as one-sided and dreary as most of the games have been this afternoon, second half story time has really redeemed things. And I'm glad you were all here to push me into it so we could all have some entertainment. And we'll hope for better things tomorrow, no matter what game you're tuning into. I hope it is a exciting, fast-paced, and, exciting affair with plenty of full frontal nudity and point scoring. But that brings us to the end of another Stupid Sports Show here on 106.9 Click FM. I'm your host, Jim B. I'll be live again tomorrow for the Lions-Jaguars game. Thank you again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and good night, Milwaukee, wherever you are.